Scrappy family, Amanda here. Today we're going to work on some pictures of my daughter and I going to see the new Disney Villains show in Hollywood Studio. It was so much fun when we went. We went back in July when it was fairly new. So I'm going to scrapbook some pictures of us there. It is called Villains Unfairly Ever After, where you have some villains that give their take on why they're actually not that bad. It was cute. We enjoyed it. And so I have some pictures, various sizes. I'm not working with a sketch. I'm just going to kind of go off the top of my head. So I pre-print my photos and this is what I'm thinking. So you can't really see here so much, but I took a picture of the curtain, and in the curtain they had all of these different villains in here. And this is Scar from Lion King. That's the only one that I was able to get a good picture of. All the other pictures, they just look like curtain. So, and then this one I printed offline, actually. So we have these, and we do have our seasons passes for Disney. So I took these with the PhotoPass photographer in front of the studio. So that was good. And then these I also printed offline. These are kind of small, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get to use them. But when I blew them up, they didn't work out so well. But these are the three villains that are in the show. Ooh. You have Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, and Captain Hook. And then they do like a thing where the audience has to pick who has, who's really not a villain. They're just misunderstood. And to my understanding, we've only seen the show once. But to my understanding, the winning villain changes every show. So when we watched it, Captain Hook was the, unfairly judged villain. I'm going a little off script, and I'm going to use a purple background for these photos versus the traditional white background that I always use. And I'm going to mat these photos in black. So let's start with that. I like purple is my favorite color, and I like all the purple that is happening in these photos. So Hannah says hi. Hannah, did you have fun watching the villain show? Yeah? Okay, that's a thumbs up from Hannah. Okay, so I'm going to mat these in black. And this black paper, I just pulled it from my stash. Yeah, that looks good. So in addition, on the page, I'm going to do some Kiwi Lane swirls on my page as well. I'm going to use this like golden orange as well as a lime green on the page. So let's see which of these I'm going to go with. Now this Abbey Road is almost always my go-to. It's so simple. So I really just love it. So yeah, let's trace this out and get this one cut. So if you're not familiar with Kiwi Lane, they are a scrapbook design template company where they sell these stencils that you trace and then cut out to help with the design of your layout. They do borders like these as well as embellishments. And I've been using them, oh my goodness, for years. Oh, definitely over 15 years I've had these. Yeah, see, I even have my maiden name on them because I've had them for quite some time. So yeah, I think I'll use this. I love them, and the owners of the company are also very, very sweet. I've met them several times at expos and things like that back when we used to frequent the Scrapbook Expo in New Jersey. Yeah, and they do the monthly kit club as well. I belonged to that for a little while, but I just wasn't using all of the designs as often as I think would warrant a subscription for me personally. But I always check out their sales and support them when I can. So check them out. Not paid content, just product I like to use. Okay, so I'm gonna cut these borders out. So I like to do the straight edge first, and then the fussy cut middle, just so I can reuse it as a scrap if I need to later on. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've cut out our Kiwi Lane. And as you can see here, there's some pencil marks here for what we trace. Now you can erase them. My eraser has like disappeared. I don't know where it is, but you can erase them. But I'm going to ink the edges of this in black, so I'm not going to spend the time doing that because it doesn't make a difference. So let me find my black. No, that's purple. Oh, this might be good. Anyway, it's a huckleberry, you know, using my quick quotes. This is like a plum, like a really dark purple. So I'm going to use that instead because it'll go really good with the aesthetic of the page. And I'm just ink up the edges and I don't have to worry about erasing. So that's really great. And because it's such a dark color as well, I don't have to worry about the pencil messing up my ink pad either, which is also a huge bonus. Because I've done that in the past with like a lighter color and I've lived to regret it. On this goldish yellow orange, I don't know. I thought this was more yellow, more goldy, but as I look at it, it's definitely orange, right? What do you guys think? And as I'm looking at these colors together, this is definitely giving Halloween. And I didn't even plan it that way. We are in October now. And I didn't plan this to be like a Halloween themed layout, but this is like really working out in our favor. So look at God. We just recently took this visit and I haven't had time to sit down and scrapbook it. So anyway, I am going to now map my photos on these black mats that we just cut out. And so my photos are 4x6. So I just did a 1/4 inch border around. I don't always map my photos, but I really do love the aesthetic. And I was thinking initially of cutting like just a 9x9 square, but I want the purple in between. So that's why I did individual mats versus like one large photo mat for all of the photos, in case you were wondering. I really love with the when you go to the photo, when you do the photos at Disney and they tell you pretend to be scared or look up to the sky or whatever the case may be, that's what they told us to do in this particular picture. They told us to look scared. And so that's what we were. We were petrified. Here, let me move these up. So now we're going to play around with spacing because I'm going to put this down here, our Kiwi Lane border, and then I'll put this one on top of it. Right. And I don't want to hide. And I have this cutout of the actual Disney villains that I'm going to pop up down here. And we have the 3 villains on here that are, you know, highlighted in the villains show: Maleficent, Cruella, and Captain Hook. So yeah, I love that actually. Let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and put the border down first because I don't want to miss and mess up and put my pictures too low, because that can happen and has happened to me in the past. And now I'm going to lay this one right on top. Okay, and I'm going to just start with these up here. Okay, that looks really good. And then I'm going to pop this up with some foam. Now, I do think that Disney should have some villain characters available for photo opportunities outside of this area. I know that they are getting ready to like unveil a whole Disney or like villain area of one of the parks, I believe I've heard. So I'm sure they'll have some character meet and greets there as well. But we've only ever met in villain form Jafar one time at a Mickey's Not So Scary. He was there. And it was very, very weird how they do that villain. Like he like floats. It's kind of like he's like on a Segway or something underneath there. But he's enormously tall and his fingers were very, very odd. But that was that. Okay, and then here I'm gonna just put these. I'm gonna put these flat to the layout, and then we'll see. Kind of winging this side. I didn't pre-plan this one as much. And this was a picture of the stage and in all of these mirrors. So like this face is like from Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Which is weird considering the Evil Queen isn't one of the villains they showcase. But anyway, so they have all of these mirrors and frames and stuff throughout the show that they use to like showcase different villains and things like that. So it's really cool. If you ever go to Disney, I do highly recommend checking this show out. It was lots of fun. And I can't remember the song right now, but I do remember that day it being like an earworm where you just like are singing it over and over again. Okay. And then I have one more photo of my daughter and I as we sat to wait for it to start. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So I'm going to put this down and then I'll put the green behind it. So I only put one strip of tape right on the edge so that I can put this behind it without anything getting in the way. Okay, so that's great. I'm going to mat this on some black, put that behind there. And then in this empty space here, I do have this Captain Hook sticker that I don't know where I got this, but totally perfect. I'm going to put him in here since, like I said, he was the winner when we went. Or maybe I'll put him up here and then use this for journaling. That might make more sense, huh? Perhaps that does make more sense, Amanda. Okay, so now I have to put something here that I can write on. Okay, let's get some black for this first. So I'm gonna do that, and then also I'm gonna just cut a really thin strip, and I'm gonna just put that in between the Kiwi Lane and the 3x4 photos. Okay, and since I've decided to put him up here, let's open him up. Do I put him closer to us? And then I do have these two photos as well that I'd like to showcase. Yeah. Or I could put them down here. That's also fine. Yeah, they can go down there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about that. But I am going to take him off and put him right here. I do think I want to put his name next to him, actually. All right, so I've gone ahead and I put Captain Hook here, and most of the stickers that were on the sheet with him, I didn't put all of them. But now I'm gonna mat these two photos that I took here. I don't even know how big they are. Let me do a quick measurement. They are 2.5 by 1.5. Okay. So I'm gonna go 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. Then I wonder if this one I should put down here a little bit, since I'm going to talk about the 3 of them. No, I'll put it here. I'll still put it here. This looks really cute. I love it. I'm going to put my journaling down. And then I also have these two die cut figurines that I was thinking of utilizing, but I think I'm going to pass on it for this particular layout. I'm sure I have other layouts I can use them on, or if we ever visit here again, I can use it there. I'm going to just do my journaling here before I call it done. So I went ahead and I just cut out a 3x4 square of this lime green and put my journaling on that instead. So we're going to write that down, or put that down. And, you know, honestly, I've been trying to write more on my layouts. Years from now, when my daughter looks back at these pages, she's going to look at my handwriting and smile. So this is our complete layout. I really am not going to go overboard with any embellishments. I did bring out these charms. I think I will put them around the page a little bit. The purple and clear little gems. You know, even the villains need a little bling. I even like this pink, to be honest. That is cute. All right. That added a little extra something. This is our page. I'm really happy for being able to complete it. I hope that you're able to do something creative to make yourself proud today as well. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next one.